Okay. It seems to be that I'm streaming. Okay. Well, I'm still a bit far in the studio. So let's get some closer. Hello, everybody. If somebody is watching, I don't know, because I forgot to announce it on the on Facebook and on Twitter. I forgot to announce that I had a live stream, and I was very spacey, isn't it? I was very far away. Put up reverb. Hey. So it's a big hall. That's nice. If you have a small studio, you can simply sound as if you were in a big hall. Or even do some science fiction sounds like this. Okay. Now it should come. The reverse sound. Okay. Strange, isn't it? Okay, guys, let's get serious again. Okay, shut it down. Yeah, I'm busy with B.I.T. doing some new preset work. I was finishing this one off, and okay, it's wise to shut down the my cell phone. Give me a second. I was working on the new presets, and this afternoon I did some live streaming on Facebook, which was fun too, and yeah, it's a very big hall what I used. Yeah, it's a giant hall, kind of church sound, and of course this code we also use in B.I.T. But then it's of course used on the synthesizer engine instead of my my voice. And I had this preset. I thought, and I was working on this one, and I think maybe it's nicer to have here the volume down. So let's see how this works. When I open the modulation wheel. From Thriller. Yeah. My voice is not low enough. Then you have to pitch it down even more. I think that's what they also did in the original one. So yeah, with the modulation wheel, I always love to use it. And the modulation wheel I can use, of course, on different things, just to close the filter and shut down the noise, or open the filter. So here inside filter 2 you see the modulation wheel. Now this first sound is back. So let's save this as this save preset. So we have what I did mention this afternoon on Facebook, that we have the new update from B.I.T. with some very cool new sounds, but also some cool new filter types. Some play modes are different, and we did beat a few little small bugs we had still in B.I.T. Okay, yeah, talking about this reverb. What in Thriller he said it's on the end, I think. So when I click on, yeah, this reverse is active. Thriller. Yeah. Sir Michael Jackson. Oh, my voice is not deep enough. Maybe in the early morning. So when I wake up, my voice is a bit lower. I'm here. And of course, if I would sample this and play it lower, you have also a lower voice. Yeah, RP reverb, it's this code we use also in our synthesizer. So if you go here to one of the synth lead sounds, we have some new synth lead sounds. I marked them here with a star, so once we release it, you will find them back. I will make a list of what the new presets are. Some dry hip-hop sounds, which are very dry. That's what I always use. A bit cheesy, but that's their style. This is a nice one. Let me mute the microphone. It's called Leads to Moogie, which is also a type of Moog lead sound. So a few more of these. Yeah, I think I see Gerd Bruins is in the chat room. I did finalize the pan flute for Aurora, so it's inside the. Okay, it should be major, of course. So I'm still working on recreating this sound. Maybe a bit too much reverb, but it's so I'm still working on reproducing this this song in B.I.T. I had a few of them already. Some of the lead sounds. Let me see. I even worked with sequencer. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, here it is. So this is the one of the other main sequences, and you have then this one. So I'm still working on it, and it's a bit more work than I expected. It's maybe a sounds very easy song, but still you need it has a quite some things going on. Of course, the bass needs to be in there. This is my own personal folder. I have some presets which I use, for instance, during my live performance. And of course, yeah, what was it again? Space, but that's another one. Red Clouds. Noise things. Okay, but let's go to the new presets because they are very nice. So the synth leads, I was in the synth leads. This one is square, typical square lead sound, very nice. So a bit of delay always finishes it off. And what we have now, triangle lead. I'm not sure what that was. Just let's play it. Typical overtone in it. There was also a weird reed lead. This is a very weird one. Sounds like a kind of Eastern reed instrument, but essentially it's the noise in sync mode. So if I put off the sync, funny, isn't it? Yeah, I know this Emma sound. I'm working on it, and most likely maybe I can find it. This sound, this Emma sound moves a bit. That makes it a bit harder to track what is going on. So this is very strange. It's very Eastern sounding. It's like a reed sound. And so a bit surprises pretty much in what is possible. Let me see. There was also another one. Which I liked, but I'm looking for it. It was a softy. Oh, I forgot to mark it as a new preset. It's more a Moogie style lead sound, just like the other one. But that's not so clever of mine. Let me see, because that was a very nice lead, personal, very lead sound, which I. So what I go to my documents, and then I can check this on date, which date the preset was created, and it's easier to find it back. So yeah, I'm looking here. So back to B.I.T. and Smooth Leader, that's the one. Smooth. Okay, so I mean this one is very, very smooth. Very smooth, very warm sounding new lead sound, Smooth Leader it's called. And I did a something with the sync, oscillator sync. So sync tube lead, that's this one. So I need to mark this. Oh, that's the next one. Yeah, this one. This was more aggressive. That uses the sync oscillator. The comp filter is very typical also. I made this comp flute, and if you go to the second filter, it has the comp filter. I tuned the cutoff frequency to 440 hertz. So if you look up here, you see appearing 440 hertz. By the way, if you use the right mouse button, you also can set this value. So you have set to value, and then you can set this filter precise to 440. So then you don't have to use the dial and find the right spot. So typical sound. So if I go now to bypass, it's a normal noise, and this is the noise using this comp filter. It's a bit more like a tube. Then of course we have some very nice new pad sounds. One of the is, for instance, a space strip pad, which I played also this afternoon, using the vowel filter, but more than as a synth sound. Okay. So it keeps on moving, this sound. This is called a space trip using the vowel. And maybe you can recall this Roland VP330, which is a string keyboard for string sound from Roland. And they had also a choir sound inside of it. And that sounded more like this. It's called here dry. That one uses, of course, this vowel filter. This is the dry one. This is more edited. Of course, it's not a sample, but at that time, what they use is also a multi-band filter to create this sound, this sound. And if you look here in filter 1, you see the cutoff frequency and the Q changes to vowel. And if you look in the upper part of B.I.T, you can see the readout, and then you see the vowel goes from A to E to I to O, U, and that's the last one. So, and of course you can set this parameter to the modulation wheel. That's what I did. So if I open the modulation wheel, so very nice addition to the B.I.T. Of course, the vowel filter we also have in Predator 2 and some Bluetooth, but it's also cool to have it in B.I.T because yeah, it's a virtual analog machine, and at that time the VP330 was also an analog machine, analog string machine. So we have a few of these. So these are in the pad sounds. Let me see. We have some more. The big choir sounds is a bit more edited. So that's not really a remake of the VP, but more edited. And if you use that in the music, so if you have a kind of still a very typical sound, so that's also new inside B.I.T. New is I had this last week already, the zero latency filters, which sound a bit colder than the original ones inside the filter 1 and filter 2 types, but still they are very useful, and still I created some nice sounds with this one. Zero notch pad with also the phaser. And by the way, by the phaser, it's best to throw the mix fully wet, otherwise you got these volume jumps because of this phasing. So best is to have it fully wet. So this is one of the sounds. Then we have the bandpass filter from this new filter. Let me see where it is. Sweep. Okay. I think this one. Tell the B and Okay, I'm checking the chat room. Yeah, the new presets from B.I.T. These are not out yet. That's gonna be next week that we're gonna release this new version with the new filter types, and of course we updated Punch 2 not that long ago. And in Punch 2 we have already a feature which we add also in the other instruments. Okay, when you go here to Punch 2, you go to the bank manager and you go to a particular bank and you have the kit presets. You can order by date, and if you click that one, the last new ones they pop up in the top section here. So this would be then some of the newer ones in the introduction bank. So from what I know, let's see, I put in this for instance. So we need to write them down, but we are still working on some newer Punch 2 presets. So most likely next week we will have some more Punch 2 presets as well. And then maybe it's better that we even write it down for you or make a list where you can see where you can find the new presets. Some of the new ones are, for instance, in the hip hop bank. So this is done alphabetically in order, and if you hit order by date, let me see. Okay, I'm not sure if this is fully okay because I don't see. Let me see if I can check this out with the okay, I need to go to 1 second, guys. I need to go to Punch 2 bank. Because if I go to the bank manager, here are also dates. So date modified. Okay, click again. These are older. This one should be in top. So you see 12.3, 12.3, 100 beats per minute and 115 beats per minute. So maybe I traced a little bug still because I don't see it here. 100, it's not in the top because this one is older. I'm pretty sure that this one is older. So something we need to fix. I think it's still a bug, but we make a list of it for sure. For B.I.T, we make a little list where you can see where the new presets are. But normally it should be the case that if you order by date, that it should be listed correctly here, that you see on top the most recent added presets. So this one, this hip hop Amen 100 is 100 stands for the beats per minute. So this is one of the traditional hip hop stuff. Film score, here are also some new ones, but let me see. We can find them here by this order by date, if that is correct, but I don't think so. I think we still have to improve this feature. Order by date. Aha. You see the last one are 12/3/2019. So we have Deep Egg Toms, Shuffle Error is a new one. So these are two new ones. So not much new in the most recent version of. We mainly did some small bug fixes and improved the some other little things inside Punch 2. So if we go to film score, then you can see that it's not really. It should be Deep Egg Toms. Okay, I'll go back. And Deep Egg Toms is here. This is a new one. Uses some of the new slices, which are eggs, I think, shaker eggs. So things what we did improve, for instance, if you press mute here, you can see that this one fades out. Some people thought that was not clear enough, but to my impression, this is clear enough. If something is mute, it's pretty good visible. What do you think, guys? Let me know in your response. So this is when something is muted. Then this pad is still see the name, but it's fade out. And if something is solo, you see, so if I play now here, press solo, yeah, you see that the rest is, it's only one slice which is playing. So this one is solo now. Then if you go to the advanced page, so if I go to pad 1, I can select here pad 1, go click on this. Then you see also here the pad you selected is better visible down here. So if, for instance, 18, here it is, or 19, so it's better visual. The idea what we also have, but that will be in the future, that you can say, okay, don't give me numbers, but note a name. So pad number 1 would be then, instead of 01, C1. And what we also did is here, this loop play is improved, so that's in the latest version. But we still continue working on, and so also down here we have now an improvement, but that's not out yet. If you hit mute, then you see that's also, it's fade out, so so it's better visible what is muted. So these little things. So keep an eye. So maybe Punch, most likely Punch 2 will have next week also a little update. Maybe with some more presets, hopefully, because once I'm finished now with the B.I.T presets, I continue with Punch 2, adding new material in Punch 2. So most likely next week we have 2 new products with not 2 new products, but 2 products with new presets and stuff. Okay, so and then of course, yeah, what I will do is arrange that the Punch 2 presets are listed so that you can find the new material. We did throw a few also in the introduction bank. I think the beat ring is a nice one. It's a very dry beat ring. Disco, of course, you need to have a bigger beat. These are our own samples recorded here in my studio, very dry, so it's and of course we expand in the slices. I still have quite some material on my computer which I need to fine tune so that we have even more slices and interesting loop material. Okay. So again, next week we will have also for Punch a update. Anyhow, because of the advanced page, that if something is muted, that it's a bit more clearer if something is muted. So what I'm doing now, you see that it turns up green. And some people suggested that we should have more multiple colors, but we did try that and didn't look good because Punch had so many controls. So even the main page is there's a lot of controls visible. The middle section is where you can trigger the breaks, the beats, the loop play. And then here you have already some controls for the master section, and of course here you can edit down here already quite a few things about each pad, so you don't have to go to the advanced panel. Okay. So let's go back now to B.I.T because that we had a lot of fun with. So that was I'm working on. Of course, we were busy on Punch 2, so I thought, okay, I need to do something else now because I was totally percussion, a bit tired of percussion and drum sound. So I thought, okay, let's do some other stuff. And then, yeah, the idea was to add some additional filters to the B.I.T, and I received a very nice bank which has a name which I cannot pronounce. This is Sanguinea project, but it's a very nice sound and very surprising also, some very surprising sound. For instance, this one, when I go here electric koto is very, very close to a real koto, and I was really amazed by this preset, getting this out of a virtual analog machine. So let's play it. Of course, you have to play the pitch bend, and what I do is like this. I don't know if you can see it, guys. It's not really in the screen. Let's see if I can move it a bit. Give me 1 second. So you see, here is my so I really move the modulation wheel a lot. Okay, I'm checking also the chat room. A complete bank. Okay, something you need to report to John, please. Then we can check this out. And which version of Reason you use? Please mention that. Yeah, we go away from the bank system because all the other brands moved away from the bank system, so everything is single files. I recently uploaded for Bluetooth a video where you can see how it works with Bluetooth, because Bluetooth still has a bank with 127 presets, and in this bank you can work with things. But for instance, Predator, if you go, sorry, not Predator, B.I.T, but also Predator 2, you see here we have banks, which are essentially folders. All are single files. If you go to My Documents, you can see here, for instance, Punch 2, it installs on Rob Papen, Punch 2 bank folder. These are all folders, just like a regular folders where you store your text files from Word. So, but now each file is a preset. Of course, we did this subgroup because otherwise you would have one long list of presets. So we make subgroups, and I keep it personally this way, that the banks are 128 presets, not more, because then the folder gets too big. It can technically have over 250 something presets, but then it gets maybe a bit too big. Then it's better to have a subfolder. So so if you see, Punch 2 also has single files, single preset files, and the same is for most of our recent plugins. So also for B.I.T, Go to Predator 2. I think even with the FX we use now this system. So once we release, let's say, Blue 3, it will have also this system, what you find here. Okay, now I'm back panel. Sorry, I go back now to so if you have Punch 2, I did not make a video about the bank manager, but you could check, for instance, the video in the Predator 2 playlist about presets and banks, because that's the same system with Punch 2. Punch 2 has then here the kit presets, which are the fully kits you have. You can create your own folder here, in which you then put in your own presets. So so from the guy from ABC and beat making, please mention this to John so that we can check this out. I did not check it out myself in Reason. It's of course the case there are many music hosts currently, and I myself don't have the time to check it out. We have some range of beta testers, but sometimes bugs don't pop up during beta testing, and suddenly a user comes over and says, okay, this happens. And of course, we need to check this out. Okay, so let's go back to B.I.T. If you have a question, drop it in the live stream. Then we had, of course, what I was talking about last week already was the different filter types. And okay, this is from my own life. Nice strings, very high, very light. It's a bit added. I think it's one of the presets. So what I see, I created in B.I.T my own folder in which I place my own presets, which are used for live or other new songs which I create myself. So let's go to the pads. There we have these new presets. And one is also interesting because we have this comp filter, is this a preset wherein, let me see where it is. It's not this one. Ah, here it is, Mellow Flute Tones. I played it also this afternoon. This one uses also the comp filter, but it almost sounds like a mellotron type of sound. Very mellow flutes type. Of course, this is still not real flutes, but yeah, then I have a O choir, which uses the vowel O, which is up here. You see, you see this vowel parameter, and if you look up in the parameter readout, which is on the top, it says O. Okay, I have a good question here. Rob, could you run through settings of vibrato with the modulation wheel? Yeah, sure. Let's do this from simply from a default preset. So I go here to default preset. Okay, this is not default. Default. Clear preset. And this is then should be the default preset. Yeah, clear preset is essentially the same. Okay. Okay, I'll make here big saw wave. So a bit trumpet-like. So this is a synth sound, and you want to have the pitch LFO controlled by the modulation wheel. Well, default we have this as a source, which is called, so you can pick modulation wheel, but also modulation wheel / aftertouch. Then it combines it, so you could use aftertouch. But in this case, you're asking for the modulation wheel. So here's the modulation wheel, and this is the pitch LFO. So when I open the amount, you can hear it. But maybe you want to have it closed and you want to control this amount. And that's why we have this amount control. And when I open this, the modulation wheel controls this amount. So that's the whole setting. And you have different types. You also could say only aftertouch. If your keyboard has channel aftertouch, they call it. So I need to press it harder. By the way, this sounds very analog because you don't hear any delay, or that was of course in the past. You have to have an outboard delay or an outboard reverb to get this sound, which makes it much nicer. So this pitch LFO is really pretty straightforward. So this is the initial amount. So if you say, I always want to have a bit of, and then this would increase it. So of course the aftertouch need to add the modulation wheel again. So sometimes you see in my lead sounds, if you go, I suddenly had a weird sound here. So lead sounds you see, aftertouch saw me. I don't know what that is again. Oh, I use the aftertouch to control a bit of the filter. Only thing is that what you can get is a bit of staircase, that the aftertouch bit rumble. And here you see modulation aftertouch, thus I can use the aftertouch, or I can use the modulation wheel. And the modulation wheel is also addressed a bit on the filter you see here, so that gives it really a expressive, yeah. Okay, so and by the way, by my original mini Moog, when I have the modulation wheel down, it has a bit of a modulation already, so maybe the potio is not 100%. So it, yeah, but it depends on what you. And by the way, this is also nice. You have, it's a nice thing. Also, maybe nice to tell you. You hear this typical attack sound, which is generated by this built-in. See, there's a built-in envelope, and I see a built-in LFO in each of the oscillators. So oscillator 2 has this section, and I see that this one is selected, but the outer ring is not active. And here we can see it is active on the tuning. And there's a little bit, very little bit amount, negative amount. See it up here. So look up here when I go to this down, you see minus, almost one minus semi. It has a pitch envelope. So let's go here. Yeah, when I double click amount, it goes to 0. It's gone. So if I do it a bit too much, if you do it just a little bit, it gives this typical sound. So detuning of one of the oscillators is an interesting feature. So some of the sounds, they're very narrow. There's also a new one, which is more really a classic mini Moog style lead sound. And you see the tuning is very close to each other. So. And even the detuning here from oscillator 2 really makes a difference in sound. So now it's 5%. So now it's very narrow. It's also nice. Okay, let me see if I have another new sound. Oh, I played that one already. So really the vibrato, you see here it's already having some amount, so I also can put it down, then start straight, but having already a bit of. And what you also could do, let's go here, maybe it's a nice idea to do this. I simply take this, use one oscillator, Make this a bit different. I make it a bit swirly. And what you could do then now, for instance, we have many envelopes on board. You could also say, okay, the filter 2 envelope is not used. Let me use this one to control the speed of this LFO. So I can say, okay, let's see if drag and drop works. Yeah, but then only as destination. No, that's not what I wanted. I want the speed. So let's see if that works. No, that doesn't work because it's too close. So I need to pick it manually. Global pitch LFO speed. Yes, that's this one. Source, I use the because I don't use the filter 2, I use the filter 2 envelope. I'm patching here, simply patching, and you see now the you hear very subtle that the speed goes up. That's a bit too much, so if you do it very minimal. Okay, let's do a dry. Okay, it goes back. I don't know why it goes back. Oh, the fade is active. Okay, now I understand why it goes back. So you hear really it slows. It starts with a lower speed and goes in speed up. And this is because of the attack. So the attack. So the envelope starts here and goes up and stays up because the sustain is fully open. So it goes up to a higher level. And of course this is too much. So now it's a bit more natural, because a natural vibrato on a violin, for instance, is not at the speed at the right moment. Bit too dry for me. Drunken Sailor. So now you could make it a bit more natural, because vibrato from a human is not like a perfect LFO. Of course, it's very minimal, the difference. Make it dry again. It's of course very minimal. It's pretty fast going to. Now you hear it a bit better. What I could do, of course, is use the pitch filter, the LFO, also on the filter to make it a bit more clear how it works. Pitch LFO. I pitch LFO to the filter 1. So it has a slow attack, so Takes now a bit too long, 16 seconds. So that's a bit too long. So on the filter it's a bit better to notice this. Very nervous trumpet player, isn't it? Sometimes evangelists in the past had very swirly vibratos. Let me see. It's a bit too much. Sounds a bit like a trumpet, isn't it? A more flugelhorn. Yeah, very nervous one, yeah. There's more drunken one. But I mean, the possibility is there to change the LFO speed. If you go extreme. So this envelope controls the speed of the LFO. So I can also do, so now it has a slow attack, so it speeds up from low to up. Or you can say no attack and only decay. Then it starts, and then I have to go with sustain down because the decay needs to go down to the sustain level and it goes from high to low. Let's have a different filter, bandpass, maybe nicer. Yeah, these old style sounds. Okay, I'm a bit of derailed now. Derailed myself. So let's go back to this sound from this bank we also will have next week. Yes, also some nice sound effects. Change the sound. Some very nice sequence sounds. Let's see where they're. Need to find them. Using the two filters together. Let's play this with a groove. Let's see if that sounds. But then no bass. State variable filter. Oh, I need to find that state variable filter. I have to look it up. I didn't know it, but So some of the and as mentioned, the coda was very nice, but it's so it's very low bass. So I'm just playing a few of them. Spiral. Of course, from the nice album from Vangelis. Some Kraftwerk sounds. He has a very nice bank. So next week you have some fun. I think we have over about 115 new presets, and of course I'm finishing now my own presets. I had a few basic ones which are new. So Catch a Modeler is so this one is nice. 3, 4. So let's see. Yeah, this one. Uses the 2 filter option. So filter 1 is noise. So if you think, okay, the noise is not what I need, but you need only this. So some presets are also a good starting point. Tuned resonance. And what I regularly do is, of course, check this with a beat below it. So maybe the beat should be lower a bit. Or maybe more tempo, I don't know. But I had also another one, which was the last sound I made today was... Which one was it again? Yeah, these are the Kraftwerk sounds I played this afternoon. Sounds a bit like Kraftwerk, therefore I call it Kraft at Work. And the other one, the variation, is using the flanger. Okay, but I'm looking for this other one, which was so fat. I also this. Yeah, then I have this razor. I need to let that sound to you also. Let me see where it is. Okay, I need to go to the okay, the wrong image. Sorry, I need to go to the bank folder of B.I.T and check again which the preset name was again. Okay. I don't hope that maybe I forgot to save it. I don't hope so. That will be bad. That happens also to me. Oh boy. Oh yeah, there it is. I found it. Oh my fatness. That's the name of it. Okay. Here it is. I marked it already. So very wide stereo. That's really nice about it. So this the chorus is of course active. See, the fullness of the sound is really great on this synthesizer. So yeah, it will be fun next week. I also made some distortion type things, which are very nasty to my opinion, which uses the zero latency filters. They have a higher resonance possibility, so watch out with the volume. So I have a few presets with that. Even extremer is this one, number 2. Okay, so why I don't, yeah, this is the one. It's dirty. I mean, the distortion in the amp section does this. Without distortion, yeah, so it's pretty. Squeaks. So it's really pretty modular what you can do. Okay, guys, so it's already an hour gone. So I had today 2 live streams, one on Facebook, one today in YouTube. So keep an eye next week. Of course, I will announce it on Twitter and of course on Facebook. Most likely we send out a newsletter once we have this new version of B.I.T out with the new preset, the new filter types, and then also with Punch 2 with some little things added to it. Okay, guys, so it was another nice live stream. We see each other back most likely next Thursday again. Have a good week and keep on turning these knobs. Thank you for watching.